And I always do the right thing, and sincerely and honestly too. So I know, I look at faces in this chamber whom have come to me and sought for my help when my wife was the president of the Court of Appeal. And I'm sure
Distinguished Senator Adamu Bulkachuwa, I think I will advise that you just round up and take your seat.
Name any names. We know ourselves.
No, but this kind of insinuation will mean that there was favor, there was this, and the rest of it. I don't think it's a good idea.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I must say that, okay, to round up, since that's what you want me to do, I will do that. And I must thank particularly my wife, whose freedom and independence I encroached upon while she was in office. And she has been very tolerant and accepted my encroachment and extended her help to my colleagues.
Distinguished, please, I don't think this is a good idea, go in this direction. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea, please.
She's not there. Well, Mr. President, I will say thank you and I will sit down. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The eldest only crossing over. Your spirit, your conscience is still, they are still on that side. On the right hand, the right side of my, yes. Senator Betty, please, I was sending a message. You didn't allow it to go in. It's all right. We thank you very much for the comments.
Of the national economy. So we'll get our reviewers in now to look at the stories. Lemmy, where do we begin? Should we start from, okay, let's see the one that captures your interest more and you think Nigerians are also more interested in?
Okay, I think about 2 or 3 papers talked about Bulkachuwa, the judge, and the retired, of course, president of the Court of Appeal, and her husband, Senator Bulkachuwa. And we saw that lawyers, particularly even under the premise of the Nigerian Bar Association, calling for the probe and prosecution of Senator Bulkachuwa. Bulkachuwa has come out today in the papers to say, that's the senator, that I did not, Lawan did not allow me finish my thoughts.
So he wasn't
I was going somewhere. He wasn't misquoted, but he did not finish his thoughts. And the wife, too, has also joined the issues to say she did not compromise her office. It's in one of the papers that you reviewed also. If you balance that up with the fact that on the Nigerian pilot also reviewed, you have the NJC launches fresh probe on 7 judges, then you would know that the judiciary is in the eye of the storm. It's meant to be a temple of justice, but it's been largely desecrated by a lot of shenanigans that has happened. When Senator Bulkachuwa was on the floor talking about how he used his advantage as a roommate or bedroom mate to the retired justice, I used that advantage to curry favors, judicial favors for his friends. And you saw that Senator Lawan was trying to stop him. This is not very appropriate in a place like this and all that. And Ahmed Lawan still remains in history a case study for Nigeria, how a man will pick nomination forms for 2 positions, contrary to the provisions of the Electoral Act, was running for presidency, lost out in that, found a way to come back, and the judiciary ingloriously gave him a seal of approval to return, which lends credence to even this whole drama playing out among the Bulkachuwas. The senator says, I didn't finish my thought. We didn't need him to finish his thought. He already was very unequivocal in saying what he said, that he encroached on his wife's freedom and independence and got her to do his friend's favor as a justice of the Court of Appeal. Very, very clear. So, and the NJC, which is coming out to say we are probing 7 judges, is paying lip service, the NJC and NBA. There's so much hypocrisy around it. They are attacking the senator who spoke. They are leaving the fact that retired Justice Bulkachuwa also has questions to answer. Remember the circumstances that led to the removal of the sack of the then president of the Court of Appeal, Justice Ayo Salami. Bulkachuwa played a major role in that issue, and it had to do with the elections or the eligibility for Governor Wamako at that time to contest elections. And sitting on a separate case after, of course, Bulkachuwa had found a way to also deal with that case, Justice Salami was going to upturn that decision. And what did they do? They found a way for the CJN, Chief Justice of Nigeria, to say we are promoting you. At the time he was going to deliver a judgment to say Wamako is not eligible, he found a way to say you are promoted up to the Supreme Court. And that was going to jeopardize the judgment he was going to stall the judgment he was going to read. All of that, she was in the eye of the storm in that particular case. That led to the inglorious removal of Justice Ayo Salami as President Court of Appeal. Now, there are so many cases. If the NBA and the NJC are doing the right thing and wanting to restore public confidence, then there must be a judicial review, at least of cases that Bulkachuwa did in her last 5 years in office, and look at close allies of ours on the bench and review those judgments, because something has gone really wrong. And remember, the president and commander-in-chief, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has repeatedly said, we will uphold the rule of law, we will do good by Nigerians, we will make sure that the judiciary is independent. But we must insist that the president also gives clear direction to the justices, to the judicial officers, that they must do justice and be fair to all manner of people. Justice must not continually be perverted. And as NJC pretends about this issue, not looking at it critically, we also have another case brewing in Nasarawa State. The governorship election in Nasarawa State, you would describe how the thing eventually was turned around after 97% of the result had been declared on IREV and declared by INEC. The drama that Governor Sule and co eventually did to swing it in a particular ward, for instance, in Gayam, there were 13,000 accredited voters, 13,000 accredited voters. And remember, the governorship election held along with the House of Assembly elections. All of a sudden, in the same 13,000 accredited voters, you found that that particular fact was posted at the House of Assembly elections. But when it came to the governorship election, they found a way eventually to add, in that particular Gayam local ward in Lafia, APC and Governor Sule had 9,000 votes, while PDP's David Umbagudo had 2,700 votes. But at the end of the day, they forgot the total accredited voters, and they went and added 2 to the 9,000, and eventually you had Governor Sule, getting 29,000 votes. That is in one local government. Of course, it has already nullified the number of accredited voters.
All right.
Went on further in Chiroma, where they had accredited voters also. The votes allocated to Sule became 3 times more than the accredited votes in that area. Now the judiciary is in the eye of the storm. Nigerians are watching. Remember how Nasarawa is boiling, as it were.
Yes.
Because once you make peaceful revolution inevitable, impossible, you make violent conflict inevitable. We must weigh in. The president and commander-in-chief must weigh in on the judiciary to do justice to all manner of people.
All right.
Because we cannot have the Bulkachuwa drama continue to play out.
Yes, interestingly, the tribunal was sitting in Nasarawa State. That was all right. While that investigation goes on, of course, the wife has actually come out to say that she was never, she never compromised on her decisions or her judgments during her days. But we see how all that probe turns out. So let's move on now. Which other story would you want to talk about? I'm just worried about this sad story on the front page of some national dailies about the killings again. That seem to be coming back, how people died, and this paper is saying scores feared killed in Plateau town as bandits abduct 15 in Kebbi, gunmen kill 5 in Zaria, an attack on ex-Imo Governor Okorocha, police officer killed. All these issues seem to be coming back again. I thought we were already getting over some of these killings.
Yeah, it's going to take some time. I really do think that, the president should act a little faster when it comes to the security architecture, rejigging the security architecture. Should act a little faster, get all the people he needs to work with to come in, then help also to heal the wounds of the nation, the divisiveness that has led to agitation for self-secession here and there. The president has the capacity to be able to address these issues and heal the wounds. And I urge him to do so. But this story of the Nigerian Tribune, CBN leaves cash deposits cap on domiciliary account. It's really very interesting that all of a sudden you can now withdraw dollars. At some point, under the last administration, even your $2,000, you cannot have access to it. $1,000, you wouldn't have access to it. You call the bank and say, I want to get $1,000 of my DOM. You won't get it. But interestingly, the interesting policy that came out last week has made the dollar look just ordinary and eliminated the parallel market, so to speak, because we now have uniform opportunity to trade. The banks are allowed to trade at will. In fact, I think it was CKN's post on social media that drew my attention to the fact that if you go withdrawing your $100, they even give you incentivize your withdrawal of $100 that comes into your account from abroad. They incentivize it and give you 1,000 naira. In the banks now, apart from giving you your $100, they give you 1,000 naira as incentive, because again, the dollar arrangement has been demystified, the parallel market, the black market and all, just by a single policy. And so it makes you wonder, under the Buhari regime, so many people became billionaires from all of the inequity in the way the dollar regime was operated. And of course, everybody comes back to Emefiele as the, what's it called? The soft target, as it were. Because under an administration, there seemed to be a code, a gentleman agreement that presidents do not get touched. Their lieutenants can be touched, but former presidents you look the other way. we saw even during Jonathan's time, how some of his aides and even relations were subjected to trial under the Buhari administration. That didn't happen to Jonathan himself. The same thing we are seeing now. And Nigerians who did not find their voices, who were too scared to speak up against infractions and divisive and incompetent leadership that Buhari offered, are today finding their voices to criticize him after he has left. This is not what we must do.
Yes,
and
let me we'll come back for you to answer virtually. Lemmy, unfortunately, we don't have enough time for you to round off on that thought. But you see, it's an ongoing conversation, and we'll keep talking about, some of these things when we return on Newspaper Review. Thank you so much. Lemmy Ughegbe has also joined us from Lagos. All right, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll begin our next conversation. This time, we'll be discussing the agitation for judicial reform, which already started with with the Newspaper Review this morning. There's been calls for judicial reform, particularly after that revelation of Senator Adamu Bulkachuwa that he influenced his wife, Justice Zainab Bulkachuwa, to assist his colleagues as the president of Court of Appeal. So we'll be analyzing some of these issues and then look at how the judiciary can be reformed. We do have two guests who will be having us look at this issue. Wahab Shitu is a senior advocate of Nigeria. He joins us virtually. Okay, there he is. And then we also have Monday Ubani, the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association section on public interest and development law. That's NBA SPIDL. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us, and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right. So let's begin with you, the senior advocate of Nigeria, Wahab Shitu. This controversy is raging now, and people are calling for reform of the judiciary, particularly after that statement made by Senator Adamu Bulkachuwa. First of all, what was your immediate reaction when you saw that viral video all over the place on his comments? Go to Dr. Monday Ubani now. Doctor, good morning and welcome.
Yeah, Nkoli, thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. So let's get your immediate reaction when you heard or saw that viral video of Adamu Bulkachuwa, that's the senator that he made during that valedictory session, talking about how he encroached on his wife to favor some of his colleagues. What was your immediate reaction as a lawyer there too?
Just like every other person, including the Senate president, I was a bit shocked. I was taken aback for such an open confession. And he was doing it innocently by reminding some of his colleagues in the chamber that he helped some of them. But unfortunately, the Senate president caught him short because he was also taken aback by that kind of unsolicited confessional statement that the honorable or distinguished senator was making, and then trying to implicate his wife that it's on retirement. Retirement. The woman now is no longer on retirement because she has to come and defend herself with regard to that statement that has wide implication within the legal circle. So I was taken aback. But today we are reading certain things being said by both the wife and then the man himself. The man is saying that he had a lot to say on only that the Senate president, the then Senate president, cut him short and did not allow him to finish his thoughts. But we got him right because the statement he made were not in any way ambiguous. They were very clear. They were very explicit. He was telling his friends how he has helped, how he had interfered with independence and of his wife and interfered with her judicial function. It was very clear. Unless he was not speaking English, he was speaking English, and everyone heard him loud and clear. So I was taken aback. I was shocked, and the legal profession and the entire body of bar and bench were totally shocked by that confession.
Okay, but really, does that actually put paid to some of the feelings of Nigerians that the judiciary, which ordinarily should be the last hope of common man, may have actually been thwarted by some judges in their deliberations in the courts?
With such a allegation, I mean, with such statement coming from somebody who is a spouse to a retired justice of the court, and that is the Court of Appeal. And if you remember that court is a court of first instance with regard to election petition matters involving presidential the candidates of the country. So it's a very important duty that particular court performs. Now, you need to restore the confidence of Nigerians on our judicial system. And doing that is carrying out investigation with regard to what has been said, to know whether there is any iota of truth in what the man has said. And you need to investigate some of the high-profile cases that this woman handled while she was sitting at the bench, in order to know whether there was any compromise whatsoever. That is what, developed societies do. That's what they do whenever allegations like this come up. They want to find out. I'm not saying that the woman may have compromised. I'm not saying with all certainty. The only way to find out this is to ensure that a proper investigation is carried out, to know whether there is any truth in what the man has said. Or the woman would have been innocent, had applied law, had applied logic based on facts. But the man just came up and began to say certain things, that really want to put a woman that is on retirement into trouble, unnecessary trouble and stress at this point in time. So the better thing to do is to investigate, to know whether there is any truth in what the man has said. That is the way it is being done. Rather than probably making a blanket statement and probably saying that the woman has come. Will reveal whether such thing was clearly is what I want to say concerning that.
All right, Doctor,
Thank you for watching. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing so you won't miss out any of our latest video.